She left her village with one suitcase, her family's entire savings, and a dream so big it barely fit inside her chest. She arrived in a foreign country full of hope, full of purpose, full of everything her parents had sacrificed a piece of their land to give her. And within a few months, she had thrown it all away. Not because she was weak, not because she was foolish, but because someone had studied her carefully, learned exactly what she needed to feel, and then became that thing, right up until the moment she was no longer useful. Her name was Ugo, and by the time she understood what had happened to her, she was sitting in a dean's office with police officers in the room and her name attached to a bag full of drugs she had never touched. Stay with me, because this story is not just about betrayal. It is about the kind of person who appears in your life at exactly the right moment, in exactly the right form, and how sometimes the friend who annoys you is the one who is actually trying to save you. Before we go any further, if you are here for the first time, subscribe right now and hit the notification bell. New stories come to this channel every single day, and you do not want to miss a single one. Now let us go back to the beginning. Let us go back to Ugo. Ugo had grown up in a village where everyone knew everyone, where the sound of her mother's voice carried across 3 compounds, and where her father's small farm had fed a family of 6 through 20 years of seasons that were not always kind. She was not from wealth. She had never pretended to be. But she had something that money could not manufacture, a genuine, burning, unshakable belief that she was going to make something of herself, not for herself alone, for every person who had contributed to the prayer circle the night before she left, for her mother, who had sold her best jewelry, for her father, who had signed documents he could barely read to release the family land for her education. Studying abroad was not just an opportunity for Ugo. It was a debt of love she intended to repay with her entire life. The morning she left, her father stood at the gate of their compound in the early light and watched the bus carry her away. Her mother had already cried until there was nothing left. The village had gathered in the quiet way villages gather when someone they have collectively invested in goes to do something important. No pressure, they all said, smiling. She felt every bit of it. The airport was the first place in her life that Ugo had ever felt completely alone in a crowd. Everyone moved with a certainty she had not yet earned. She checked her documents 4 times before boarding. Passport, visa, boarding pass, passport again. She had come too far to make a single mistake. Her phone buzzed as she settled into her seat. A video call from home. Her father was holding the phone at an angle that cut off half his face, a habit that would never change no matter how many times she explained it. Ugochi, her mother said, appearing beside him. Remember the goals you have. Remember the family you come from. Do not lose yourself in a world so different from ours. Ugo laughed softly at the familiar lecture she had heard 100 times. Those words, she thought, were just the standard goodbye speech. She did not know then how precisely accurate they were. The campus of Crown Ridge University was the most beautiful place Ugo had ever stood in real life. It looked the way universities looked in the movies she had watched on her cousin's phone growing up. Wide open paths, red brick buildings, students moving in every direction with the casual confidence of people who had never doubted they belonged somewhere like this. Ugo stood still for a moment, just inside the gate, and let herself feel it. Then she picked up her suitcase and went to find her room. Maple Hall during move-in week was pure organized chaos. Suitcases everywhere, voices bouncing off walls. Someone somewhere was playing music loud enough to reach the next floor. Ugo was navigating through all of it, eyes down on the small paper that had her room number, when she walked directly into someone coming around a corner. "Oh, I am so sorry. I did not mean to." The girl she had bumped into simply smiled. "It is okay." Her name was Riley. And that small collision in a crowded hallway was the beginning of the most important friendship of Ugo's first year abroad, though neither of them knew it yet. Ugo loved her room the moment she saw it. She arranged her side carefully, clothes in the wardrobe, a family photo on the desk, a small Nigerian flag pinned above her bed, a piece of home in a foreign place. She fell asleep that first night exhausted and full of hope. Morning brought sunlight through unfamiliar curtains, and it brought Riley, the girl from the hallway, sitting on the bed across from her, already awake, already curious. "Good morning, Rumi." "Oh, it is you from the hallway." They talked, slowly at first, then faster. Two girls from different worlds finding the small things they had in common, the way people do when they are far from everything familiar. Within one morning, they were walking across campus together, coffee in hand, laughing about the things they had both been afraid to admit they were nervous about. It felt like the beginning of something good. It almost was. The third roommate arrived later that day, like a weather system. Ugo returned to the room to find a girl sitting confidently on the remaining bed, surrounded by designer luggage, already rearranging the shared space to suit her preferences. When she saw Ugo, specifically when she saw the Nigerian flag above the bed, she leaped up and wrapped her in a hug that caught Ugo completely off guard. "I saw your flag and I knew immediately. I am so happy to finally have a Nigerian roommate." Her name was Muna. She was warm, energetic, immediately familiar, the kind of person who makes a room feel smaller and more alive at the same time. But then Ugo turned to introduce her to Riley, and everything in Riley's body language changed in the space of a single second. "Oh, I know her." The temperature in the room dropped. "You two know each other?" Ugo asked. "From freshman year," Riley said carefully. She did not say anything more, but before Ugo could press for details, she said something that was meant to land gently and landed heavily instead. "Just be careful who you trust." Ugo looked from Riley to Muna. Neither of them was smiling anymore. And Ugo realized somewhere in the back of her mind that she had arrived at a university where she knew no one and had somehow already walked into the middle of someone else's story. The tension between Riley and Muna was immediate, sharp, and completely unexplained to the one person in the middle of it. Ugo spent the first evening wondering what exactly she had moved into. Later that night, when Muna announced she was going out to a party and invited Ugo along, Ugo refused. But Muna had been watching her carefully all evening. She knew exactly what Ugo wanted most. "If you come with me," she said, "I will tell you what happened between Riley and me." Ugo hesitated. She did not want drama between her roommates. She did not want to take sides before she had all the information. If she understood what had happened, maybe she could help fix it. She agreed. Before leaving, she sent Riley a quick message. "Hey, Muna invited me to a party. I will be back before curfew." Riley never replied. Her phone showed offline. Ugo almost turned back. She did not. The party was everything Ugo had spent her entire life not attending. Loud music, flashing lights, a crowd that moved like water and noise combined. Muna walked in like she owned the building and possibly part of the street outside it. People greeted her from every direction. Ugo stood slightly behind her, feeling invisible and a little overwhelmed. At a quieter table, Muna finally delivered on her promise. She told Ugo about Riley. Lies, she said. Small ones at first, then bigger ones. About my family, about my character. People believed her. I lost friends. It was the hardest semester of my life. Ugo listened. Riley had seemed so genuine, so straightforward. But then again, the most convincing people always did. She did not fully believe Muna, but the seed was planted. And Muna knew exactly what she was doing. She had been doing it for a long time. Later that night, Muna disappeared into the crowd. Ugo sat alone at the table, drink in hand, watching a room full of people who all seemed to know each other. A young man sat down across from her. They talked briefly, casually. Nothing that mattered until the moment he stood to leave and looked back at her with something almost like recognition. "You look like this is not your scene," he said. "It is not," she admitted. He smiled. "I used to say that too. Then I stopped being scared of trying things. And then he was gone, and Ugo was alone again with his words and a room full of noise." She checked her phone. 11:50 p.m. Her heart dropped. Curfew was midnight. She pushed through the crowd searching for Muna. Music blasted, lights pulsed. The room felt like a maze. When she finally found her outside, Muna was barely standing, drink in one hand, laughing at nothing in particular. Ugo made a decision she would not regret. She ordered a car. She held Muna upright. She called Riley. Riley answered immediately. She was waiting outside when the car pulled up, 3 minutes before curfew, clearly frustrated and clearly present anyway. Together they carried Muna upstairs. Nobody thanked Riley that night. But Ugo noticed. She filed it away somewhere quiet. Classes began. The campus that had felt overwhelming in the first week became familiar in the way new places do, gradually, almost without noticing. Ugo and Riley fell into the comfortable rhythm of two people who share a space and a schedule. They studied together. They walked to lectures together. They talked in the way new friends talk when they are still discovering each other. Muna walked slightly ahead of them most mornings, phone in hand, updating her presence on every platform simultaneously. Then one morning she pulled Ugo aside. "Leave Riley," she said simply. "Come with me. I want to show you something." At the campus coffee shop, Muna leaned close and held out her phone. The video was short. It was Riley. She was angry, her voice sharp, saying things about Muna that were unflattering and specific and completely unlike the Riley that Ugo knew. Ugo stared at the screen. Her opinion shifted. Just a little, just enough. Muna's world was a different world entirely. It was louder, more expensive, more certain of itself. Her friends were confident in the way of people who have never had to wonder whether they belonged. They welcomed Ugo immediately, laughing and including her from the first minute, as though she had always been part of the group. And Muna paid for everything. Every meal, every item in every store, every piece of clothing that Ugo put on because Muna had handed it to her and said it would look good. Ugo did not ask where the money came from. She told herself it was because she did not want to seem ungrateful. The truth was that part of her already knew the answer would make her uncomfortable. The changes happened the way changes always happen, slowly, then all at once. The long black village dress stayed in the wardrobe. The new outfits came out instead. Classes that Ugo had once arrived early for became things she sometimes attended and sometimes did not. Riley sent a message during a lecture they were both supposed to be sitting in. "Where are you? We are about to write a test." Muna was leaning over Ugo's shoulder. "Forget that. Let us go have fun." Ugo looked at the message. She put her phone face down. She went with Muna. One evening, Riley sat with Ugo going through course material, patiently explaining concepts that Ugo had missed during the weeks of skipped lectures, trying to quietly patch the holes without making Ugo feel embarrassed about them. The door burst open. "Muna! Ugo, put that down! Let us go out!" Ugo stood up immediately. She left Riley sitting there alone at the desk, notes spread out between them, mid-sentence. Riley did not say anything, but the look on her face was the look of someone watching something happen that they already knew the ending of and could not stop. The calls home became performances. Ugo would change into one of her old, simple outfits before answering, positioning the camera carefully so nothing visible told the truth. How are your classes going, my dear? Very well, Mama. I am passing everything. I am working hard. Do not worry. Her mother smiled on the screen, proud and trusting. The girl her parents believed in and the girl she was becoming were no longer the same person. And somewhere inside, Ugo knew it. The party where everything collapsed was bigger than any she had been to before. Ugo was drunk faster than she expected. The drinks kept coming. Muna kept handing them to her. At some point, the room stopped making sense. She found a couch. She sat down. The lights blurred. The music got distant. And then she was not conscious anymore. She did not see Muna and her friends disappear into a quieter corner. She did not see the panic when someone burst in with news that police were on the way. She did not see Muna look across the room, calculate in less than a second, and walk straight to where Ugo's bag was sitting beside the couch. She did not see what went into the bag. She did not see any of it, but someone else did. Riley had been awake all night. She had been to parties like this one before. She knew what happened at them. She had watched Ugo stop replying to messages and felt the specific dread of someone who can see exactly where a road is going. When the sophomore group chat lit up with warnings about police heading to the mansion, she did not hesitate. Black hoodie, sunglasses, identity covered. She arrived as the chaos was beginning, people running, pushing, spilling through every exit. She moved against the current, searching. She found Muna crouched over Ugo's bag. She pulled out her phone. She recorded everything. Then she waited until the building had emptied, until 2 full minutes had passed, until she was certain it was safe. Then she went to the couch. She lifted Ugo carefully. She supported her weight. She moved her out of the building before the police arrived. Nobody saw them leave. Morning. Sunlight through familiar curtains. Ugo opened her eyes to find Riley sitting across from her with water and medication and the expression of someone who has been awake all night, deciding how to say something. "We need to talk." Riley showed her everything, the recording from the party. Months of documentation gathered carefully over a year of watching Muna operate. Clips from freshman year, evidence of things Riley had watched happen and had been called a liar for reporting. Ugo watched the screen with hands that had started trembling and did not stop. She watched Muna stuff packets into her bag. She heard what Muna said to her friends afterward. The words about her being a toy, a village girl who was useless the moment she stopped being useful. She heard them laugh. The anger that rose in Ugo was the kind that bypasses reason entirely. She was across campus before Riley finished the sentence asking her to stop. She walked straight to the coffee shop where Muna was sitting with her friends, laughing, completely undisturbed. Muna saw her coming and had half a second to arrange an expression of innocent surprise. She did not have time to finish it. What happened in that coffee shop lasted less than 3 minutes and ended with campus officials separating them and escorting them both to the dean's office. Neither of them knew, until they walked in and saw the police, that this was not about the fight. The investigation was careful. The officers asked questions. Muna pointed at Ugo immediately, confidently, the way people point when they believe their story is better than the truth. Then an officer said, quietly, that her fingerprints were also on the bag. Muna's expression changed. She had forgotten, in the panic, in the rush, in the certainty that Ugo was the perfect container for a problem she needed to disappear, that hands leave traces. She began building a lie fast, but the structure was already shaking, and then the door opened. Riley walked in. She placed everything on the desk, recordings, documentation, months of evidence gathered by someone who had once been called jealous and toxic and untrustworthy and had responded by quietly, methodically, collecting the truth. The lie collapsed. Muna and her friends were arrested. Ugo was cleared. That night, alone in the room that suddenly felt very quiet, Ugo opened her laptop. The numbers on the screen were the most honest thing she had seen in months. Missed assignments, failed tests, an attendance record that told the story she had been hiding from her parents one video call at a time. She called home. She told them everything. Her parents listened without interrupting. When she finished, her father was quiet for a moment. Then he said something she did not expect. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is what you do next. What Ugo did next was simple and unglamorous and took longer than she wanted. She studied. She attended every class. She asked for help without embarrassment. She rebuilt her grades the way you rebuild anything, one small correct decision after another, repeated until they added up to something solid. Riley was there for all of it. They studied late into evenings. They walked to early morning lectures together. They talked about their families, their plans, the kind of future they were both willing to work for. Their friendship, forged in the strangest possible circumstances, became the steadiest thing in either of their lives. Riley's graduation day came on a bright spring morning. Ugo watched from the crowd with tears she did not bother hiding, phone up, taking every photograph she could. A year later, her own graduation day arrived. Her parents watched through a video call, her father holding the phone at the same impossible angle as always, her mother already crying before the ceremony began. Riley was there in person, now a year into her career, standing in the crowd and cheering louder than anyone. They hugged for a long time. Ugo went home, not because she had failed, not because she had run out of options. She went home with a degree, with a plan, and with a clarity about what she was going to build and who she was going to build it for. Her village welcomed her, with the noise and warmth that only a place that was genuinely glad to see you come back can produce. She stood at the gate of her family compound in the evening light and looked at everything she had grown up inside. She smiled. She had made every mistake available to her. She had learned from every single one. And she was ready. If this story stayed with you, if it made you think about someone in your life who has been trying to tell you something you were not yet ready to hear, please like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to this channel for powerful emotional stories that mean something. New stories come every single day. Hit the bell icon so you never miss one. Thank you for watching until the end. See you in the next story.